Let's continue. Something's really strange. Let's hope, or let's adapt.
Especially the headlights. There were build quality issues, common mechanical issues like the dreaded IMS bearing. Some people started to come around with the release of the turbo models, the return of the Targa 911, revised engines, and a facelift in 2002 called the 996.2. That was also the basis for the first 911 GT3 RS. This is when the Rennsport designation exploded into the performance powerhouse it still represents today. The 911 GT3 without the RS on the back had existed since 1999 as a homologation special. As you'd expect, it was improved over the ordinary 911 in nearly every way. Engineer Andres Andy Pruninger had been part of that development, and in 2001, Andy was promoted to head of Porsche's GT division, the people making decisions and developing the homologation cars. Now, this is by far the second biggest 911 news of 2001. Oh, God, dude, really? Now, the thing about Andy is he's obsessed with engineering for maximum performance. So when the 996.2 GT3 was built, again to satisfy racing homologation rules, it was yet another step forward. But somehow, there was still room for improvement. Room for sport of the Renn variety. In 2003, the 996 GT3 RS was born, and the list of changes over the normal GT3 are extensive. Different heads and valves bumped power to 381 horsepower. Progressive springs replaced the GT3's linear ones. Stiffer dampers were fitted, and the car got carbon ceramic brakes. Those were incredibly rare 20 years ago and cost nearly $20,000 to replace. But they had better cooling and were half the weight of steel rotors. So we gotta put them on! The RS diet was back in other ways too, with polycarbonate windows and carbon fiber hood and rear wing. The 996 was hugely nerdy. Engineers messed with the tiniest details in the name of maximum performance. The wheel carriers were custom made for better dynamic camber. The shock towers could be removed and rotated 120 degrees from the original position to get the same alignment range as the Cup car. The race cars, Ram air ducts were added to the engine bay to force more air into the engine at speed, and at 190 miles per hour, that meant 15 extra horsepower. That hyper-focused engineering, the nerdy obsessiveness of paying attention to every single detail paid off, and the GT3 RS clocked a Nürburgring lap time of 7 minutes 43 seconds. It was 4 seconds faster than the turbocharged top of the line 996, another homologation special, the GT2. The 996 generation is still maligned today as the least cool 911, but people are coming around to this generation as a whole. I mean, it's an old car now. It looks small, but the GT3 RS was a sensation immediately. How could cars so similar elicit polar opposite responses? Now, the regular 996 was trying to be the next great 911, and honestly, they're pretty great to drive, but by changing the 911 formula and its unlovable face, the 996 had an uphill battle. Owning one made you a nerd. With the GT3 RS, that flipped. It wasn't trying to be anything other than the greatest possible 911 for that current generation. So it didn't matter that this was the 996. The 996 GT3 RS did more than just show what maximum engineering could do. It showed that Rennsport was back. Visual cues that had made the 2.7 RS special returned with it, like lightweight wheels in blue or red to match the decals on the side. And best of all, we got it here. So how do you follow up on greatness? How could Andy avoid the second album slump? Well, starting with a winner definitely helps. In stark contrast to the poor reception of the 996, the 997 was an immediate hit when sales began in 2005. A GT3 followed in 2006, and for once, we didn't have to wait long for the next RS, which arrived in 2007. And when I say we, I mean Americans. This time, Porsche took the chance that we were ready to get on board the RS train, which is good because this one was a huge step forward. The car was lighter than the normal GT3, more powerful, wider, and had an even bigger rear wing, producing even more downforce at speed with 3 E's. In its final form, the 997 GT3 RS 4.0 had the largest engine ever offered in a road-legal 911, making 493 horsepower. Think about that. A 4-liter, 6-cylinder with no turbos, making almost 500 horsepower. Before the GT3 RS, that was the kind of thing that you only found in race cars. Yeah! Once again, the GT3 RS was faster around the Nürburgring than its turbocharged big brother, the GT2, but that was no longer the top 911 because with the 997 generation, the GT2 got RSified. But the GT2 RS wasn't produced because of sibling rivalry. It was invented because Nissan showed up and broke the Nürburgring time record. The development of the GT2 RS internally was called Project 727, named for the Nürburgring lap time achieved by the mighty R35 GTR. To ensure success, Porsche engineers gave the GT2 RS 612 horsepower, shed 154 pounds over the regular GT2, and achieved the top speed of 205 miles an hour. The Nissan GTR is a great car, but it simply couldn't stand against Porsche's engineering might. In the end, the GT2 RS clocked a 7:18, beating the Nissan by 9 seconds. But here's the thing about the GT2 RS. It's more powerful, more turbocharged, and more expensive than the GT3 RS, but it's not better. It's different. In the words of one Porsche employee, the GT2 RS is the hand of God Porsche. It's designed primarily for maximum, even gratuitous amounts of power. The GT2 RS is a machete. The GT3 RS is a scalpel. The GT3 RS is the one that the engineers really invest their time, energy, and innovation into. And with the 991 generation, that becomes very apparent. If the 997 was RS's surprising sophomore album, the 991 GT3 RS is the moment they go from indie darling to full-blown stadium rock god. Great. It's their Chapel Roan moment. People hadn't always been on board with RS cars. These were nerdy, the product of a singular obsession with engineering. That made them incredibly expensive and incredibly uncomfortable and difficult to drive, at least compared to a regular 911. But it also made them incredibly cool. Now, every historically cool thing from blue jeans to mid-century modern design is the way it is to serve a purpose. Okay, blue jeans were designed to be tough, not cool, to meet the needs of cowboys and gold miners. Every detail serves that purpose. The rivets add strength at the corners to prevent fraying. The triple stitching prevents tears. Even the color was chosen for toughness. Indigo dye only partially penetrates the denim. As the outer layer fades from washing and wear, some of the dark pigment that has seeped further into the fibers remains. Mid-century modern design gave us some of the most distinctive and coolest buildings, homes, furniture, even appliances, but these were primarily designed for functionality and simplicity, stripping away any unnecessary ornamentation and having the ability to mass produce them. Materials like plastic and plywood were chosen for their low cost, making products accessible to all, and because those materials permitted new shapes and forms. And in buildings, spaces were designed to be uncluttered to aim the mind by freeing it from distraction. Of course, lots of things are designed to function first, but the ones that rise up and have a legacy, that's because they end up serving that purpose better than anything else. That's because somebody really thought about what they were creating and why. These creators remain true to that central mission and are authentic in their purpose. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what the market thinks. They know what they're doing is right, necessary even, to make something great. They aren't designing something to be popular, they're designing it to be the best. Now, for a machine like a car with thousands of pieces all moving together, the only way to achieve that is to be absolutely obsessed with its design, its engineering. Nobody ever made a great car by accident. That obsession is what RS means on a 911 GT3. It's the highest performing 911 that is possible at the time. The letters RS are reserved for the best of the 911s, which is a pretty great car in any form, and that means that in its somebody really thought about what they were creating and necessary even, to make something great. They aren't designing something to be popular,
No.
They're designing it to be the best. Now, for a machine like a car with thousands of pieces all moving together, the only way to achieve that is to be absolutely obsessed with its design, its engineering. Nobody ever made a great car by accident. That obsession is what RS means on a 911 GT3. It's the highest performing 911 that is possible at the time. The letters RS are reserved for the best of the 911s, which is a pretty great car in any form, and that means that in its final form, it's a world beater. Yes, Porsche! Sometimes Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, or the other guys are faster, but the sum of an RS Porsche's parts gives it a lasting power that other race cars for the road simply can't touch. It's where engineering becomes art. It turns out that a consequence of that obsession with function is a thing that's also incredibly aesthetically pleasing. We can see that it's a triumph, and we love that. Humans love to win. We're proud of it. Jeans look great. So do mid-century modern homes. And no car looks nearly as cool as a 911 parked in front of a mid-century modern house while wearing jeans. The RS models are built for maximum performance and take extreme measures to get there. That's a process of building upon what's already there. It's an engineering transition that happens for every RS 911. That starts with a base Carrera 2, which is built upon to make a Carrera 2S and improved more for a GTS, then a lot more for a GT3, before finally landing at GT3 RS. When that happened for the 991 generation, almost nothing was left untouched. There wasn't some list of specific features that were engineered to racy perfection. It was the entire thing. The front fenders had louvers added for better aerodynamics. The rear fenders had turbo-like cutouts because that's where the engine's intake is now, instead of on the rear engine cover below the wing. That wing generated up to 900 pounds of downforce. And speaking of engine, it was completely different from the one in the GT3 with a 9,000 RPM redline and 513 horsepower. That got the GT3 around the Nürburgring in 7 minutes. 1 second quicker than the 918 hypercar. The inside was as you'd expect. Roll cage, racing harnesses, those little fabric handles that everyone made fun of, and then every other car company decided to add to their own racing models. Porsche didn't do that to flex its race car credentials. They did it because it is a race car and door handles are too fucking heavy. Porsche's commitment to only include genuine race car stuff did create a problem, however. The 991 GT3 RS was the first where a normal 3-pedal manual was not available. A lot of purists were upset by that. I mean, how could a performance car not have a stick shift? Well, this is Rennsport. It's not about what people like. It's about racing, baby. It's about what actually performs, not what feels fast. The GT3 race cars ditched the stick shift after the 996 generation, so the GT3 RS had to as well. The only reason the 997 GT3 RS had a 3-pedal manual is because, according to Andy, Porsche's PDK dual clutch sequential gearbox wasn't advanced enough yet. And by the time the 991 rolled around, it was. So that meant there was no real choice. The RS has to be the best, and fast is always the best. Which brings us to today, everyone. The current generation 992 GT3 RS. The 992 GT3 RS carried on using Porsche's PDK as the only option, and like the 991, nearly every part is different from the lesser 911s that it's based on. One of the biggest changes over the previous RS is aerodynamics. RS engineers went as far as changing the suspension wishbones and steering tie rods from cylindrical to teardrop shaped to reduce drag and turbulence in the wheel wells. Its rear wing now generates up to 1,900 pounds of downforce. It has DRS. You know, the drag reduction system used by Formula One cars. It can be left in automatic, where it will open or close based on vehicle data, or you can open it manually by pushing a button, a DRS button, in your car. Now, adjustability becomes the theme with the 992 GT3 RS. The shocks can be adjusted between 8 settings, independently for compression and rebound, and independently from front and rear. In total, the suspension has 6,561 possible configurations. Because 6,560 ain't enough, Jack. There's an adjustable differential with a steering wheel dial to set the level between full open and full lock. It can be adjusted independently for acceleration and coasting. The traction control has 8 settings. Stability control has 3. So why is it so adjustable? With the 992, the RS engineers pulled their greatest trick yet. They fixed the one thing they could never seem to improve. You. The 992 has so much adjustability that the driver is left to figure out how to make the best 911 possible for them. That's not laziness, it's a gift from one set of nerds to another. The GT3 RS is made by engineers who are obsessed with performance and getting the most from their cars. The 992 GT3 RS is made for the drivers who are equally obsessed. It turns out that the engineers could never create perfect performance. They don't know where or how their car is going to be used. And there were too many possibilities. They're kind of stuck creating a solution that's somewhere in the middle, compromise. But the solution to that compromise turns out to be giving you the tools to solve that problem yourself. What that means is the RS is a car that many car enthusiasts aren't ready to understand. You have to reach a level of nerdiness that's close to those engineers. The Cars and Coffee crowd, the Instagrammers flexing, the Canyon carvers who've never been to a racetrack call it overrated. But the Chads and Chad adjacent aren't ready for it. They can't possibly understand it, which takes us all the way back to the first RS car, the 550. By all accounts, what those engineers came up with was tough to drive. You had to figure it out. The 992 GT3 RS carries on that tradition. The engineers have equipped it with the best tools possible, but ultimately, it's up to you to make it perform. And just like the 550, you can get it wrong. And at a time when cars are increasingly doing everything for us, one that leaves the thinking up to you is refreshing. It respects your nerdiness, and that is cool. I told you guys it was going to be a long one.
Alright, so in this
Thanks
moment
for sticking around to the end. Jesse and I want to thank
I'd
you for
like
all the support that you guys
to
are.
also thank you for your patience and of course now we'll talk about a bit because we have interesting mentions about what he said. The idea was for me to not interrupt you that often. Only twice I interrupted, but hopefully you understand me, and now let's debate each subject. So, as the guy says, this car is very complex. I'd actually love to present you the idea which made me to skip a bit at one moment, which is a hypocrisy, I think, and I
This video is
maintain my
sponsored by
affirmation, but I skipped too little in the back.
is the one that the engineers really invest their time, energy, and innovation into. And with the 991 generation, that becomes...
Shut up, man, I will catch you, American.
If the 997 was RS's surprising sophomore album, the 991 GT3 RS is the moment they go from indie darling to full-blown stadium rock god, Drake. It's their Chapel Road.
No copyrights for audio.
Been on board with RS cars. These were nerdy, a product of a singular obsession with engineering. That made them incredibly expensive and incredibly uncomfortable and difficult to drive. They go from indie darling to Bowen, the product of a singular obsession with engineering. That made them incredibly expensive and incredibly uncomfortable. Stick Island gave us appliances. These were primarily designed for communication and having these appliances, but these were primarily designed for functionality and simplicity. Mass-produced their products accessible to all, and because plastic is trying to be uncluttered to aim the mind, rise up, and have a legacy, that's because some of them they end up serving that purpose better than anything else. That's because somebody really thought about what they were creating and why. These creators were
All right. So he says right here,
true to that central myth creating and why. These creators remain thought about what they were creating and why.
why they create everything they create. Each one of these creators, American creator, Japanese, UK, German, whatever. Why do you create anything, any product? To be true, to remain true to that central
These
mission.
creators remain true to that central mission and are authentic in their purpose.
and authentic in their purpose.
It doesn't matter what other people think.
It doesn't matter what other people think. That this tank is awesome, is the best. It's German peak technology with this beautiful suspension, complicated suspension which fails a lot. So this is not important of what other people think. Oh my God!
Creating
Just a second.
why. These creators remain true to that central mission.
Yeah,
and are
central
authentic
mission,
in their
authentic.
purpose.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what other people think.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what the people think.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what the market thinks. So this American is saying about it doesn't matter what the market thinks. So it's about dollars, about cocoa. That's why I stopped and showed you in the live moment France, West Germany, Japan as the Allied forces who lost World War II, and then United States, UK, and liberated France, who won. Now, let's let this guy exactly like here. Hopefully he will not swallow his BS. Of course, he's very, very right. He presented very well. I'm tough with him only because in the real world, if I'm Romanian and he's American, he will inflate balloons so I can shot all day with my Tiger tank into his balloons, or the Germans against me as a Romanian will inflate their numbers. Oh, our car is the best. Is the best. So please surrender. You have nothing. We own you because we are the best, and yeah, everyone is the best. But in reality, none of them will surrender in your favor anything, and we rather die trying to stop your masterpiece in your authentic purpose, whatever. For our personal authentic purpose, which we had enough of all French BS, UK BS, German BS, USA BS, China BS, Russia BS. As a opinion from a car. Of course, he said that this Porsche, talking about cars now, this Porsche is really complex, has 5,000 different settings for suspension. Oh, you won! Exceptionally, you won. You won me. If you said that, or if you prove me your car is that adjustable only on suspension, you can shoot me. No, nothing. You take everything I have. Shoot me. Oh, incredible. Your car is perfect. It's incredible. But can you service that? Yeah. We have a good guy. But what if we shoot your guy? Or if we bomb with a stealth bomber that guy? Who's gonna produce that suspension? Who's gonna install on the new vehicle that suspension? Who's gonna drive that suspension? after who's gonna set up that suspension and who's gonna maintain that suspension and who's gonna create the kits and the oils for that suspension so it can be serviced and used for X amount of years intensely into a fight, into a real fight. Oh, we didn't thought that far. We only thought that we will impress you and you will fall with your chair, and that was the entire match. We are the best. Yeah, we are the best. Our suspension is awesome. Again, in the perfect setup with the perfect trained crew, in the perfect environment, perfect weather. Yeah, of course, you obtain some keynotes, some statistics, some numbers, which compared to another numbers, yeah, your masterpiece is the best. Is the best tank. Tiger 2 is the best. IS-3 is the best. T-32 is the best. All right, let's fight. Let's fight in a game, and let's fight in reality. Big differences. Let's fight now economically. It's not a joke. We talk very seriously. In this way, you will understand that I'm not talking only opinions or I'm far away from home. As the video said in the beginning, influencers on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, whatever, they buy this car because it's cool, even though they don't know to use, don't know to drive, they don't afford it to crash, to repair, to use again. They just buy, flex with it, let's say, make a photo, like those beautiful girls with all kind of aesthetical operations, and if you think and you look just a second, you can die happy. You can die happy. If you talk with them, if you live with them, if you observe further and deeper, you would die faster but not happier, or you will die faster and very sad because of them. Because these are the guys who usually buy this car in general, yeah, the car of course is awesome, but it's awesome because they don't exaggerate. It's over their capabilities, so only for their capabilities to take a photo, a video, a sound check, to mount whatever exhaust system, and to make whatever vlog. Yeah, if you start to push, if you are able to push and you afford to push financially, not that many people around to talk about this car. So just as a matter of fact, I will describe you, or I'll I will remind you. I'm with the Google Translate here. I'm a bit tired. I will remind you what he said at the beginning. I said no copyrights. He said that sticker price is at a level, and these cars are selling on the second-hand market for double that price, even double that price. So This is a very important affirmation, which I will eat alive those who uh, are into it, not as a member or as a part of them. I couldn't give a hoot more about their car, their market, their money, or their person, their dirty, unscrupulous persons. But for you, I will enter there, and even though me or you watching me will not that eager to either decide if you go with those who love the car or with those who contest the car, me and hopefully you will try to remain in the middle and to try to understand this car, because personally, yes, I love that car being that complicated. I hate that car in the same time, in the same moment, in the same uh, body, let's say, in the same algorithm. But I want to understand the algorithm I am judging this car. So let's fight economically like these Americans do, like these British do. I don't know that much Chinese, Russians, and Japanese to make a big case around the GT3 RS. Of course, they have access because they have money in those countries, not restricted to own. But those who, for the last decade and so, made money with videos like this or like this, who I'm making now, even though maybe will be unmonetized because no copyrights, no copyrights for the algorithm, no copyrights. They uh, filled the entire existence of us with their opinions, with their logics, their ways, but usually less on American stuff. I didn't heard that much of a topic. Of course, is a clinch between Ford and Chevy users to be in the Germany. I don't care about Ford and Chevy. Let it be. I don't give a hoot. Russians, it's there. Not much intrigue, intrinsic intrigue around here. We don't even hear nothing about Russians. Japanese with their thing, as always, let's say. Chinese, of course, they are discomfort in USA's back, and we have British and Germans. Let's see their fight economically. Is not my fight, or Romanian, poor Romanians fight, small Romanians fight, big Romanians, whatever. We have Dacia, which is cheapest car. But let's see the current battle of these two huge nations, British and Americans, because they were always somehow tightly connected, and the Germans on the other side. Of course, before playing that, I will mention another thing, which is the as more for Tiger 2 tank, not for the Porsche GT3 RS, which the Porsche is only awesome. It is great. It is God on the planet. Um, Maybe it's not that cool, you know, maybe it's a bit expensive, you can make me an offer, but it is perfect. While on the Tiger 2 it had deep flaws, big problems, so it was not a thing about cool or not. It was almost a disaster, a complete failure. So let's watch Americans with British against Germans, how they try to extract this beautiful, perfect thing, exactly like in the period the British, the Russians, the Americans extracted the soul from this German hardworking and heroic people, slaughtering them with that crap Tiger 2, full of flaws, big failure. In reality, not that great how they Germans would like to tell us. Letting aside this GT3 RS, which is perfect, I also mention before watching more Porsche stuff, the BMWs, Audi, Mercedes, which of course all of us know they are worst car on the planet, worst of the worst of the worst. They depreciate the most. Americans, exactly like me, say don't buy a Mercedes, it will break, it is expensive, a tiny gasket of $10 will cost you $3,000 in work, so don't buy it. You lose even 30% in 2 years, so don't buy it. It's very true. But why Americans buy that? Why Americans don't buy Chevy? Why Americans don't buy Dodge? Why? If it's not good, why you buy that? And why you keep shouting, oh, it's not good, it's not good, don't buy, and you still buy from Germans? Because you want a discount. You want German technology, German effort. You want the best of the best of the best, like is GT3 RS. You don't have money for GT3 RS, you want a BMW. That BMW is broken very often, leaks oil, but you also, because don't have money to repair and to pay for it, oh, it's not good, it's not good. But you bought it because it's good. And you're popular because it's good. And you're famous because you post photos of it. But you drive it very occasionally and only short distances, because otherwise the engine blows, and you wouldn't repair it if it blows. Like a friend of mine actually told me not long ago, his engine blew, and he actually repaired it. Half a year stayed with no car, without his car, and repaired it. He didn't sold it. BMW. And no word about that. And all these motherfuckers, all these mother eaters, crap eaters, all these Americans, oh, I want German, but if it's possible, if they can do it for me better and even cheaper, you will understand why I'm insisting on this cheap German thing, and British, American, whatever. It can be Russian, Chinese, it doesn't matter. Anyways, a lot of Volkswagen, BMW were sold in China, and even for Chinese market, BMW made 3 series long, A4 Audi long, even though they're that tiny. Chinese people are small. They paid. You pay, I make. Americans, oh, I, it's too expensive, it's too complicated, but it's good, but I buy. I want to be famous, I want to make videos about your work, about German work, but when it's time to break something and to pay, no, no, let it be on warranty. Let the German repair it. Yeah, let the German repair it, because he didn't do a good job like me with the Chevy, with the Ford, and with the Dodge, with a stupid pickup truck for $100,000 or not or more, with our Hellcat, which spins a lot, and you see all the crashes on the earth with Mustang and other craps. It doesn't matter what the market thinks, but he started with the prices.
That's a lot of money for just 2 letters.
No, it's a lot of money. It doesn't matter what the market says, but you say about money, about market. I don't like this guy also, but let's see how you want to see my joy, even though I didn't bought a GT3 RS. My joy here from Romania is just to see this British beggar begging to the German doors, asking for a GT3 RS, and of course, dude, we have more on different colors. Give us money. Oh no, I want cheap. You want cheap. Until few days ago, I told you I was not into this involved in any way. I wouldn't involve myself in any way, because Japanese. But to be honest, here in Europe, um, choose without Japanese. Choose Russians, no thanks. Jaguar, Land Rover, no thanks. BMW, no thanks. But me looking at this British beggar begging at Germany's door, please give me to the least price. It is too expensive for me. Please, we won the war, and you are our slave, German. Please, give me, please. Oh no, please, oh, it's very expensive. Let me go to the Italians, because I have some business with Italians, which Italians were in the same team with the Germans, and I will switch my Italian with a German one, and in this way I'm happy. I'm a happy British man. In the, how was that melody? British man in New York. British man in New York. Oh, no copyrights. So British man, leave me alone. Yeah, let's beg on the Germany's gates. So hopefully we have some joy and some food in our mouths. We want the best GT3 RS. Enough. Let's get into the not hypocrisy, into the fun with all these beggars, which are either on the other side of the sea, either on the other side of the ocean.
Today, I'm going to expose the secret world of supercar dealerships.
Oh,
I was wanting to buy a new GT3 RS, please. Have you bought enough cars? If you were lucky enough to have the money to buy a luxury special edition supercar like Porsche, Ferrari or Lamborghini, it's not as easy as walking into a dealership and buying the car of your dreams. To purchase is
no copyrights. You can visit Mark McCann, Mach 2, Porsche refused to sell me a GT3, or even you can visit other videos from him. He's very famous, he's very rich, he has a lot of cars, and hopefully you will enjoy watching more of his stuff.
exotic loan of the cars, you need to be on the list. And today we're going to see how hard it is to get on the list and hopefully purchase one of the best cars Porsche has ever made.
Here is the new Porsche GT3 RS, and this is a new Porsche 911 GT3.
All of these are British. All of these which made money from this GT3 RS, filming for losers like me in the first hand, and you watching their content, consuming and giving them money, views, and popularity. British. I didn't see a Russian or Chinese. Of course they have, but we watch at British peak power and observing and reviewing the best German car ever.
RS. And to confirm just how special this car is, just check out these reactions.
Ah!
Oh my god.
Bloody racing car to me. On my journey to buy a car, I found a shocking web of dealers potentially misleading their customers. So what is the list? Dealerships have their very best customers. These are people who buy many cars through the year and potentially spend millions of pounds. These big spenders then sometimes get the chance of getting the rare edition low-numbered supercars, which are very sought after, but also stand a good chance of not losing money, and sometimes in fact even making money. These people are carefully handpicked to be real ambassadors.
Oh.
Sought after, but also stand a good chance of not losing money.
Not losing money? Man, this guy said here that market here.
And are authentic.
Authentic purpose.
It doesn't
In authentic purpose of German. And the market doesn't matter, and what other people think.
matter what other people think.
But this one here with these expressions, oh, yeah, just look at this.
On my journey to
Watch these reactions. Said.
RS, and this is a new Porsche 911
Not here.
GT3 RS.
and to confirm just how special this car is.
Oh, so you to confirm how special this car is, in which it doesn't matter what other people think.
Just check out these reactions.
Just check out this reaction on my channel. You can watch and verify this review. Oh,
God.
This feels like a
Merci.
racing car to me. On my journey
And in the end,
It doesn't matter what the market thinks.
it doesn't matter what the market thinks. But look at this beggar
to
here.
buy a car, I found a shocking web of dealers potentially misleading their customers. So what is the list? Dealerships have their very best customers. These are people who buy many cars through the year and potentially spend millions of pounds. These big spenders then sometimes get the chance of getting the rare edition low-numbered supercars, which are very sought after, but also stand a good chance of not losing money, and sometimes in fact even making money. These people...
Oh, so it doesn't matter what the market thinks, alright? But all of this you observe here, they want also, if possible, to make a little money, a little profit. Maybe not lose that much, but a little profit there. Please.
People are carefully handpicked to be real ambassadors of the brand. So what qualifies you to be on this list?
Just for my Romanian audience, just for my Romanians.
Bani, cluburi, lucruri scumpe, țaca-paca, pofte, plăceri, ai și puțină cocaină.
Și puțin profit. And a little bit of profit. A bit. We're English, we're a bit, and a bit of profit. If, please German, if you please allow us to buy this car, to make a little profit.
You're expected to buy a number of cars, and sometimes these cars are less desirable, high volume, low-end model cars, which are most likely to lose a load of cash. This proves they are loyal customers, but obviously that comes with a cost for the buyer. So I'm going in-store face-to-face to show the dealer just how serious I am. I was wanting to buy a new GT3 RS, please.
New GT3 RS. I don't know, what's your sort of background with Porsche? That's a horrible question, isn't it? Have you bought enough cars?
is that
I think, yeah, from my understanding is you perhaps have bought like a ridiculous amount of cars to even be sort of put on the list, really. So this guy, way before my time, probably bought 6 or 7 cars off us per year, and bought for quite a long time as well.
Yeah.
Somebody threw a figure in like £2 million spend or something.
You're poor.
So I need to spend £2 million a year to get a slot for a GT3 RS.
Yes.
But there's a catch.
Ultimately, we can do everything we can. I wouldn't want to say it's a guarantee on an X amount of numbers or X amount of spend, but
You know, you sort of invest in cars you don't really like prefer and want, and then you still don't get that allocation at the end of it. Right, let's pause it right there. This is my problem. I think there's people going in with the dream of buying their ultimate car, the 992 GT3 RS. And I think these dealers are giving the dangling carrot. They're saying, if you buy 10 cars, which will potentially lose hundreds of thousands of pounds, I might get you a car. And they know that there isn't enough cars to go around.
And what do you expect? If we remember correctly, British bombed Germans like rats. They burned them alive, and facts you can research on the British side. Churchill refused to firstly not introduce himself in the war, and then to end the war and make peace with Germans. They said, no, we bomb you. Oh, these Germans are so unfair. They just show you the keys like this. They make you pay for what you want to buy from them, and then maybe I might get you a car, and they know that there isn't enough car to go around, so they didn't even have that much cars for you. Oh, these Germans, oh, they're so bad. Their car are exceptionally the perfect car, but they are so bad. With us, with the winners who won the war, who made profit, who won the war for money, not for whatever. The war is for money. We won't work for money. We have money. But those Germans, oh, those Germans are so bad.
They're selling a dream which is not going to happen.
Oh, this is malefic, diabolic.
Great. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for your time. Take care.
So it looks like it's going to be difficult to get this allocation to order a brand new GT3 RS. For now, let's keep trying, but if needed, I've got a secret weapon which should get me that slot. But first,
No
we need to
way.
understand more about the system.
Now the
Atomic
question
bomb.
is why? Why are these dealers so protective of these top-end models? But of course, it all comes down to one thing: money. The more of the supply they control,
Oh,
the more money they
so-
will make. This is when
So it comes all about money, with the accent, with a British accent, money. Even though this, spoken man says it doesn't matter what the market thinks. Thrown here, like I translated earlier, like you throw crumbs to the pigeons. In the entire land, you say it doesn't matter what the market thinks, even though he start the video with the price. It doesn't matter. But everything,
money.
money, but it doesn't matter.
The more of the supply they control, the more money they will make. This is when overs comes into play. So what is overs? You can see our previous video here to see that in depth. But to put it simple now, it's when you purchase a car from a dealer and the very next day you sell the car for a profit, simply because there's a queue of people wanting to buy that very car.
So
Oh, so you want to buy that car because it's special and you can have these reactions. Where are those with those reactions? Here.
People who buy many cars.
Just how special this car is,
How
just
special?
check out these reactions.
Oh my
Feels like a bloody racing car to me.
So you want that car because it's special or because of money to sell it second day? And what do you expect from Germans? Just asking. To be under your feet, to make the best car, to sell it cheap, to improve it, to make a discount for you, and fast if possible, with a Coca-Cola, cold Coca-Cola, even faster.
This video here to see that in depth. But to put it simple now, it's when you purchase a car from a dealer and the very next day you sell the car for a profit, simply because there's a queue of people wanting to buy that very car.
So hypothetical numbers, that's Senna, right?
Yeah.
Like immediately once you bought it, how much could you have flipped it for?
I think initially in the US, maybe 300,000 over.
Now, that is tax-free cash, maybe even overnight. So the main dealers want to stop this from happening because they don't want people buying these just to flip them. So when you purchase one of these in-demand cars, they can make you sign a contract to say you will not sell the car within 6 months or even a year, even though it's your car bought with your own money. And the consequences, if you do sell that car early, you'll be blacklisted and you'll be refused any special cars in the future.
Oh, so you will be blacklisted. Oh, you will be blacklisted by Germans. Oh, what sad. But to bomb civilians, entire cities with civilians.
Some of these cars have already slipped through the net and they are for sale right now. And obviously, the owners have been blacklisted. Now, these cars are fetching as much as £150,000 over what that car was originally bought for. But that's so risky to buy a car at these inflated prices, as they are likely to reduce as more cars come to the market. So personally, I only want to buy a car from a main dealer at the original list price. Even though so far I have been rejected, I am determined to buy one of these amazing cars. Now, not having the time to travel up and down the country to see these dealers face to face, I'm going to hit the phones, and the reactions I got were amazing. Right, preparation is key. I have my list of Porsche dealerships, I can find 39, and I've got a green highlighter for all the ones which are going to sell me a brand new 911 992 GT3 RS at normal list price.
Good luck.
When we got
A normal list price.
through to the first main dealer, it looked promising.
Which model are you interested in?
It's a GT3 RS.
Okay, let me just pop you through some details now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That sounds promising.
It's not something. Have you got like a buying history with us of a certain amount of cars?
No, not really, no.
No.
And it was the same story for all the other dealers. I felt like we were getting nowhere.
That is a specific vehicle that requires an invitation to purchase.
Porsche do entice to have some form of buying history from a certain centre.
We don't take deposits for them.
Welcome to Porsche Centre Preston, Brooklyn, Guildford, Tunbridge, South Lakes, West London, Fleet, Sheffield.
Right. Okay, let's continue our search. I don't think we're going to need the green pen. Right, we're going Mayfair now. Posh, going posh.
Alright, it's not something that, especially that sort of ilk of car that we would be able to allocate. Then we can start to say.
As I was boring the salesman to sleep, we got a call back from one of the dealers.
We potentially have got a client who is looking at selling his GT3 RS. We would be looking at circa 365,000, but I suppose mathematically, if you work out a starting-year-old portfolio and working towards 10 cars, of course that could still work out your best average.
What do you mean by it's maybe better than doing your own portfolio price-wise?
There's an element of loss obviously in every single car, isn't there? So of course obviously every car depreciates. If you was to buy circa 10 cars, and say for example we bought it in at a certain price, but there was an element of loss in each car, like anything depreciates, doesn't it? Any car can depreciate over the time. So the over allowance or the additional pricing on the GT3 RS may work out advantageous in the fact that of course it's less of a loss over the duration and it's a quicker route into it.
Right, I understand what you mean. So if I bought a portfolio of cars which all lost money, that would cost me an amount of money anyway?
Absolutely, yes. It's ultimately, I probably think it's going to cost you slightly less to do it this way. So he's paid close to £265,000 retail for the car.
So in theory, he's lost more than 100 grand on other cars he's owned, so like this works out maybe cheaper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's saying that this guy has lost more than 100 grand to have the right to buy this 992 GT3 RS. Mad. No matter how many people we rang, we got the same answer. So we went to see my good friend who might be able to help us.
All right, I'm good, how are you?
I need your help.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Talk to me.
I want to buy a Porsche.
Okay.
911 GT3 RS.
New one?
That's the big pit.
Yep.
I don't want to be paying overs.
You don't want to be paying overs. Well, you've come to the wrong place.
Carl's laugh says it all. It's looking like it's going to be impossible to get one of these cars for list price.
So someone who has paid list price, or what they think they've paid list price for a GT3 RS, I guarantee you, has paid more than what they would have to pay if they come to buy one from me.
Why?
Well, because of the list of cars that they've had to lose money in that they don't want. It's okay having a car and losing money in that car if you wanted that car.
Yes.
But when you don't want a Cross Turismo 4S Taycan because you live in Wiltshire and there's nowhere to charge your car, but they've made you have two in the last 6 months, and now you've got one and your wife's got one and you can't use it, but you think, oh, you know what, I'll lose 35% in that car just to give it to Porsche. You go home, you calculate all them losses you've made, and then tell me if you've paid less than what I'm charging.
So I asked Carl about what the salesman had said to me earlier on in the dealership. I was concerned about not being guaranteed to get one of these cars, even if I ticked all the boxes by buying lots of other Porsches. And his answer was absolutely shocking.
So I've seen scenarios as well over the years where someone has walked into some dealer at some time and they've bought all the stuff that they want them to do. They've been on the trips that they want them to pay for to go on, because that's another thing, they invite you to go on a trip around Italy that you have to pay for. So that's not a good invite, is it? They've done all this stuff and they've said, right, look, if I'm going to do all this, I need to make sure you're going to hold up your end of the bargain. You need to send me an email and confirm that I am going to get a
Golden egg.
GT3 RS, for example. And I've seen situations where that email has been sent and they still don't get it.
So there's even paperwork at
There's absolutely no guarantee whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, if you think you've got an order slot because you've left a deposit and they've taken your deposit, that means nothing either. It means absolutely nothing.
So the dealers are taking deposits off the customers, saying that they're going to get a car, but they are not delivering.
It's absolute stupidity. They sell you the dream that you're going to get something at list. No, you're not going to get it at list. They may as well say, if you buy 30 cars from us, we will give you a GT3 RS for free. That's what they may as well say, because it's the same thing. No one gets a GT3 RS at list. It doesn't happen.
To understand how frustrating it can be to get one of these cars, we spoke to a long-time loyal Porsche customer.
Yeah, so I've been a fan of Porsche all my life, and I've started owning them through the last 7 years probably. With me always wanting a GT3 RS, I went to my local dealer and said, what do I need to do to secure a slot? And they said, better history with buying from us, and not promised, but fairly convinced that I was secured a slot. Bought X amount of different models for myself. Over time, they've all depreciated and lost quite a lot of money. I wasn't promised a car, 100%. However, being told what I needed to do to get a slot on a car, and still in the outcome not getting the car was really frustrating. So I spent obviously thousands on the tours that you offer to go on with buying the cars. I bought the mountain bike, the Porsche mountain bike, and I even bought the £7,000 plastic Porsche watch purely to try and get me this build slot. You go on piston heads and they're all for sale, selling at way overs, and it just makes me think I would have had that car for pure enjoyment, not to make money on. Whenever going to Porsche, no one was like pushing for me to buy these things. I always wanted a GT3 RS, and I just thought buying all of these like add-ons as such would get me that build slot that I always wanted.
Putting all things aside, even if you did all the things you're asked to get on that list, another potential flaw is the salesman.
If the salesman leaves that you've had a relationship with and bought all these cars, if he gets sacked tomorrow, then all of a sudden Mark McCann is who? Sorry, who do you normally deal with? Oh, I deal with Graham. Sorry, Graham's not here no more.
And then the new guy comes in, he's got a relationship with people he's worked for him in the past.
No.
So he's bringing his own VIP list.
You're relying on the salesman who you're dealing with having a firm position in the company to get what you want. Now, if you ask me, that's a dangerous game.
So why are manufacturers limiting production numbers on these awesome top-end ultimate models? Well, it's probably not the reason you thought it was.
People get attracted to the brand. That's a special thing that brand makes, and what other special things do they make? You know what? The next GT3 RS, I want to get one of them. I better start buying. I'm going to buy a Carrera, a GTS, Panamera.
So that car has a knock-on effect.
That car earns them more money because it sells their other cars.
And then they've got 5 cars they've sold, 5 cars they've got profit, they've got 5 cars then being serviced, 5 cars being warranted. I suppose that just snowballs to make the whole brand work.
5 cars that they make you take finance out on, because some manufacturers make you take finance out.
You have to have finance.
You have to have the finance. You have to, because they need to earn more money from you. So here's a perfect example of how they sell you the dream
Italians.
that don't really work out sometimes. A Ferrari SF90.
So we have seen that dealerships can be unfair by giving their customers false hope. Now, this next story is a lot more than that. It's just outright unfair. The SF90, just like the GT3 RS, is a flagship amazing car, and the owners need to have had a certain amount of buying history to get that build slot. But of course, those cars are likely to have lost money along the way.
That car is now for sale with me with 2,000 miles at 390,000. That's nearly 140,000 loss.
On just that one?
On just that car, to go with the other probably 140,000 loss that he's had on the other 5 or 6.
There's 280 grams worth of loss of the car, which was going to be a money maker.
But this gets better. I'm not stopped yet.
Shortly after the guy had sold his SF90, they released an even better model called the SF90 XX, which of course naturally he wanted one of those.
Call it my Ferrari dealer. I'd like an SF90 XX, please. Well, Carl, there's a problem. You need to have an SF90. But I had an SF90. I bought it from you for full money, and I sold it back to you to lose 100,000 or more. Yeah, but Ferrari stipulate if you don't physically have one at the minute you place the order for the XX, you don't get one. So now you've got to go and buy another one.
If you think that's ridiculous, it gets even worse than that. Let's pretend that I have been lucky enough to get offered a GT3 RS from the main dealer. To get this invite, I've already lost £100,000 on 10 cars which I needed to buy to get my chance of the slot. But now I have my new GT3 RS, which is instantly worth £100,000 more than I have just paid. So surely that equals everything out. Nope.
Then they say, okay, well, you have to sell it back to us. Now I'm there offering 100,000 plus over list.
If I bring it to you.
You bring it to me, and they say, well, you know, if you want to continue doing business with us, you've got to sell it back to us at list price. List or not very much over, yeah? Yeah, I've seen it all.
And then they're still charged 100 over.
Yeah, then they can sell it for over. So they're, they're a bit hypocritical, because if you're not allowed to sell it.
The Germans are hypocritical? No. They say, dude, this is the best car. You can figure 5,000 settings on suspension. This is the best car. Pay. What's hypocritical? Hypocritical is this guy, which is in your boat. It doesn't matter what the market thinks. It doesn't matter what the people thinks. Oh, and everything comes back to the money. But they are hypocritical. Germans are hypocritical.
Yeah, I've seen it all.
And then they're still charged 100 over.
Yeah, that's the price of the car. Their car. They do whatever they want with their car. Why do you debate if you don't want that car?
So they're a bit hypocritical, because if you're not
a bit.
Sell it for over, but they are. What I'm offering you is this. You tell me what colour you want, I'll sell you a car at market price. When you're finished, I'll buy it back. There's no obligations to buy other cars. There's no obligations to not sell the car because I'm going to sue you. You can do whatever you want. You know why? Because it's yours. And that's what you should be able to do. And you know what? No, if you sold it to somebody else, you're still welcome to come back here and buy another car. I'll never blacklist you.
So I think it's obvious I'm not going to get a car from a Porsche dealership at list price unless...
I wonder why. Unless you pay...
I have a previous buying history that they are looking for, and that's where...
I've got an ace up my sleeve.
I have had a fair few Porsches in the past. Now, does that class as buying history? These cars have actually totaled over £1 million, so maybe, just maybe, this is enough to use as leverage to get one of these new cars.
So this is our last chance. We're going to go face to face, and I'm going to give it Billy Big Beans. I'm going to try everything I can to try and get an allocation. This is it, I'm all in.
But when I listed these cars to the salesman...
Yeah, I've had a few, like recently I had a 911 Targa, I've had a couple of Carrera GTs, like a 993 and 997, so I've had quite a few.
It literally made no difference. £1 million, and yep, no difference.
Stationary.
Right.
Sorry to come across bluntly, I don't want to waste your time, but yeah, it's just we have people
I don't want to waste your time. Bye.
on a daily basis coming out for GT3 RS.
Thanks for the effort, yeah, nice for it, yeah. Okay, take care, bye.
Bye.
Basically, no matter how hard...
You go to buy in training. Please give me some GT3 RS. Please, at least price.
Basically, no matter how hard you or me work, you are not going to be able to buy a GT3 RS at the price you were supposed to.
Yeah.
The system's flawed. Basically,
The system.
to even be considered for a slot, you have to spend a load of money in these dealerships. But if you
Oh,
work
so
at-
the system is not flawed. Just have to spend. Buy. But if you don't want that car, don't spend, man. Leave. Oh no, I still want.
Porsche, and you can get me in the back door. Drop us a message on Instagram, MarkMcCann64.
From the back door.
Actual allocation for one of these Porsche 911.
Please tell me if you ask in the comment section. So you are the winner of the world. You won the British Empire, and you have money. You have the Queen. and the royal house and the Buckingham. So you want to sneak on the back door? This is your proud being of a winner? To go on the back door, you know? To sneak. If you know, call me. Give me message. I'll give you 5,000 if you sneak me in the back. Just to put my hand on a pre-sliced GT3 RS. No pride in this. No pride.
Work at Porsche and you can get me in the back door. Drop us a message on Instagram, MarkMcCann64. I have an actual allocation for one of these Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and I haven't lost a single penny.
Oh,
But
your God.
there's a catch. Before I tell you all what Porsche offered me, and it is crazy, let me explain properly why there is a magical list. When buying a brand new special edition car from a dealership, you are paying list price, meaning you could sell that car for over the next day if it's a rare and desirable motor. When you take delivery, even though it's your money and your car, the dealership can sometimes make you sign a contract that you cannot sell your car for a year. So they try to dictate what you do with your own possession. The reason for this, the brand simply wants its best customers,
You're my number one customer.
to keep the cars and enjoy them, and not to instantly flip them for profit, called overs. It's very tempting to take overs, as this can be some serious amounts of money. It's tax-free, cash, and it can be even overnight. Take these two 911 GT3 RSs, for example. These were £260,000 new. Right now they are for sale for 370 grand, and they've only done 300 miles. The question you might ask is why? Why would you buy one of these flipped second-hand cars for overs, which costs a lot of money, when you can get a new car from an official Porsche dealership for the normal sticker retail price? Well, to be added to the list, you have to purchase multiple mass-produced, less desirable cars that depreciate at an extreme rate. This is how Porsche offered me a deal that if I spent £500,000, I would get a brand new GT3 RS, which apparently last week was sold out. After my previous video attempting to buy a Porsche GT3 RS at list price, we received about 3,000 messages. Many from people all over the world which had very similar stories, but also there was lots of people trying to help me get one.
Just as I mentioned, as American say, time is money. So this crown British man, winner, doesn't have money but have time to read all those comments, and the German says to him very honestly and straight on point, "Sir, we don't have that car. It is a special car. So, don't lose your time. No, buy." And he came out in training, out from Porsche. And now in the comment section, time is money, but he invests his time to read all those comments.
Price, we received about 3,000 messages.
3,000?
Many from people all over.
Dude, I wouldn't read
We received about 3,000
that
messages.
for 1,000
Many
pounds.
from
I wouldn't read that. I couldn't care less.
people all over the world which had very similar stories, but also there was lots of people trying to help me get one of these amazing cars, which led to this phone call.
We have disguised this person's voice and kept their identity a secret. As you will see, it would cause big problems.
So any of the Taycan turbo and turbo S's, so the three cheapest turbos you can get on the website, they're listed as a new car, not pre-owned. In stock is the ones that they can do a deal on, basically. So the dealership, they're happy to do a deal, do you know what I mean? The only thing I think he was really nervous about was obviously income amount. I think the pressure was on to try and get the ball rolling with this one. To maybe sort of get the show in the first place.
Nu stai
Looks like we've got a GT3 RS. So, right, thanks to you guys, it sounds like I can have a brand new GT3 RS slot this week. I can spec it, I can personalise it all to my car. I don't need any previous buying history, but I have got to sweeten the deal with buying 3 Porsche Taycans now. But in theory, if I can sell those cars at just a little bit of loss, surely that's going to work out better than the offers I've got to pay right now. But the only confusing thing is they keep on telling me that these are sold out, there's no more allocations, but yet I'm going to get one to spec this week. As you can imagine, I was overjoyed that Porsche had offered me the chance to purchase a GT3 RS, and the deal they were offering me I thought was extremely fair. But this is where I was wrong. In my head, I thought if I bought 3 brand new Taycan turbos at £170,000 each and sold them at, say, a 10% loss the very next day, I would have lost £50,000 overnight. The benefit of this is that I would be able to purchase a brand new GT3 RS at list price, £260,000, and potentially sell it for overs of 100 grand, meaning I would be 50 grand up instantly. But for me, what I want is the car of my dreams for way less than I can get anywhere else. So before I commit to that money and the stress of trying to sell 3 Porsche Taycans, I thought let's go check the GT3 RS out and see if it lives up to this huge hype. All right, Mark.
Lovely to meet you, Mark. I'm Lewis. This is Better Performance, and I'd love to show you around this lovely GT3 RS.
The first one I've actually seen in real life.
Oh, you won't get your head around it.
There's a lot of like added bits in there. So this is the DRS.
Yeah. Active aero, just like Formula 1 cars.
So that goes lower. Nuts, isn't it? I like that. And the car just like with a piece of rope. No doubt, looking around this car, it is next level. It's amazing. Despite being a subscriber to the channel, Lewis let me loose in the driver's seat and told me I can go as fast as I like and I can even jump it. Well, that's what I heard.
We're still running it in as well, so we've got to be a little bit careful.
Look at that.
Yeah, wait for that shot, yeah.
Same way.
Save a bit of weight, huh?
I want one of these.
Let's skip because I lose your time. If you want, you can watch on yourself more content from our friend, and why not to see what he made with the new car, because this video is also old and he posts very often. You can see daily vlogs or weekly vlogs if you are interested.
In overs, 25 grand over. A big reason people bought these Taycans is in the business it's much less company car tax. The taxman goes much easier on you if you go green. But the huge difference, what doesn't qualify is second-hand cars. They have to be brand new. And then, yep, the batteries. They are only warranted for 8 years or 100,000 miles. And to replace a battery,
for a Porsche Taycan, £40,000 for a new battery.
And as we know from our iPhones, batteries do not last forever. And another reason these huge Taycans can be an issue, technology. It's advancing every single day. So a car only a few years old, the battery is already outdated. So the unknown of these cars' battery life is scaring people. I've had one of these cars. I've driven it for a day when James' car was in the service. It was fast, comfortable, electric, cheap to run. There was nothing wrong with it. So it looked like selling this car would be a nightmare. But I'm selling 3 brand new cars with 0 miles and nice specs. So surely we can find a way to get some more money for them. So time for plan B. I found a dealer which specialises in these sort of cars and will hopefully offer me a better price. Oh yeah, I've got some Porsche Taycans for sale and I wonder if you'd be interested in giving me a price for them.
How many have you got?
3 Taycan Turbo S's, delivery mileage, like list book price is about £170,000 each.
Okay, and what sort of money are they going to be?
I was hoping you were going to tell me.
I haven't got enough money left for 3. I've got Taycans coming out my ears that I'm committed to.
Right. Thanks a lot, thank you, bye-bye. So even a company who specialises in these cars is struggling to sell them. So unfortunately, he won't even buy my 3 cars. This deal is looking more and more unlikely to be able to pull off. So let's go to plan C. So we're going to have to go see Carl. He is our last hope to see what he will give us for these 3 cars. And hopefully, he will give us closer to that so we can go down this route and I can spec my own GT3 RS today. At this price. I've been thinking about this in the night. Now, obviously, the guy said to me that they only get 1 or 2 cars per dealership.
We only get two allocations a year, and they are given to people that have got loyalty to the business.
So what he is saying is every year dealerships get 2 new cars to sell and they get offered to the top 2 clients. So it's basically a hierarchy. That is completely fair. The best customers get rewarded by being offered the best cars. But here is a problem. As we saw in the last video, you are not guaranteed an actual car. You are simply in competition with all the other customers. Now, as we know, I have no buying history with this dealership, which are offering me this new car slot. But with this deal on the table, I'm having to take 3 Porsche Taycans as a sweetener, and then I will leapfrog the whole hierarchy right to the very top and spec my own car. So simply, if I get rid of these 3 Taycans, that is great for me. But what about the loyal customers, the ones in number 2 and number 3 positions, who may have spent millions to get to the top of that list, and they have been told, sorry, we haven't got enough cars coming.
I'm sure he can't sleep at night about those.
Does that mean they're only giving 1 real customer, 1 loyal customer, 1 big spending customer a car? What about the second person? What about the third person? Because they're going to have sold that dream to some people.
Oh.
They're going to have said to them, if you buy 10 cars, you do this.
Yeah.
You get, hopefully, a slot.
So unfair.
I've been offered a slot. Business-wise, what great sense. Because they've sold the 10 cars, the 2 million on the dangling carrot, and now they're going to sell another 3 Taycans. We soon got to Carl's, and if we can't make this deal mathematically work, then it's definitely going to be a no to the GT3 RS. Hello again.
Hello, mate. How you been?
Yeah, good, thank you. You won't believe this.
Unfolded. Go on.
I have a slot, a guaranteed slot, a real car, which I can spec and list.
What, GT3 RS?
Yes.
They've given you a slot?
Yes.
That you can go in and spec?
Yes.
Okay.
But there's a deal.
What's the catch?
I've got to have 3 Taycan Turbo S's.
Okay, let's have a look.
But they're listing at about 170.
Oh, lovely. So these are, as described, Porsche Taycan Turbo S, new, model year 23. So they were new about 12 months ago when they built them and never sold them. But now they want to sell them to you.
Yes.
But you can have 3 of them.
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Before Carl gave me his valuation, I had a few questions I needed answering. A load of comments in the video have been, I know you're into watches, about Rolex having the same sort of strategy, but obviously, like Porsche, it's not the Rolex, it's the jewellery shops like Porsche. It's not Porsche, it's Porsche dealers.
That's just a business strategy, isn't it? Also, you can dive in this rabbit hole even further. These dealers, they're not earning money from Taycan. What they're doing is they are saying, we sold 10 Taycans this week, so Porsche have give us a big bonus. And they're all on finance, which means that we're still earning some from the finance. We're moving units. That's all they're doing.
If Porsche are in such a mess, you can see business-wise why they might try and sell 3 more Taycans. It's not probably... It's not fair.
Well, it's business. It's life. It's business.
Yeah.
It is what it is. What's not fair is someone who does jump it through the hoops and doesn't get the end goal.
Yes.
That's not fair. And I've seen that happen.
If I went and did the deal and I drove them straight here, what would they be worth? Would you take them and how much?
Realistically, you're going to lose $225,000 in these 3 cars. So you're paying $225,000 over list.
Wow. Gutted. So it's clear this deal is not going to work out.
This is not a deal, so don't call it.
Keep the exchange, keep the rest. I'm so generous. I'm the winner.
You make your own decision. I will happily buy all three of these cars at a 75,000 loss.
This is Romania, if you can observe. This car is from Romania, Bucharest. So yeah, if you see a car like this on Bucharest, you are a very, very, very lucky person, and you will understand why. Yeah, you are the best.
A 75,000 loss on each one.
So we're
Why?
no further forward.
You're
Why?
actually 125,000 further back.
And now the killer blow.
Why?
Bad news is there's a new Taycan coming out.
Oh.
So these unregistered new old cars are now going to be a derelict model. Everything's got a price.
Yeah.
I don't think there is a more undesirable car at the minute than a Porsche Taycan. I said to you before, no one gets a GT3 RS at list.
Interesting. So even the Porsche Taycan owners are the new one is on arrival. They bought this guy's reliability, and in the end, German, starting with Germans like, there. In the end, I'm trying to not hide my feelings about them. The Germans make a great job. Didn't matter if the car is good, bad, if the King Tiger was the best, if the GT3 RS is whatever it is. Good job, guys.
I am still determined there is a way that I can get this amazing GT3 RS at list price without losing money. And the good news is, I think I have found a way.
Let's see.
Some more negotiations. We now have a new deal on the table, and to be fair, it's a lot better this time. Right, so we have a counter offer. So obviously nobody took them up on the free Taycans, but this is looking a lot more in our favour. Still two cars, one dreaded Taycan Turbo S, but this time a 911 Turbo S cab. Because we've only got one Taycan to sell, I reckon we can get out of that for about a 65 grand loss. Now the GT3 RSs are still fetching 100 over. Jane needs a new car so she can have the Porsche 911 Turbo S cab, so we're going to be better off in every way, because I even get to spec my own car. Good news, got you a new car.
A G-Wagon?
Better than that, a Porsche.
Please don't tell me it's a Taycan.
It's a 911 Turbo cab.
Yeah, I wouldn't stay in their family discussion, but I will skip to the end result for some privacy, decency, and yeah, time. I don't have that much time.
Yep, your car's coming, you've just got to come and spec it. They've been sold that dream, jumped through all the hoops, and now I'm going to leapfrog all of those people by just buying two cars. So for now, back to the start. But I think I've got a plan. It's plan D, and this is what we're going to do. I have figured out a way to get this car with hopefully losing very little money, and that is without any allocation from Porsche themselves. Well, let me explain. I've bought cars from Lamborghini for nearly 20 years, even back in the days when they broke a lot and nobody wanted them. I've built a relationship that I'm one of Lamborghini's best customers, so I get invited to have special cars, like the new Lamborghini Countach, £1.5 million. I didn't have the money, and now they're worth $1 million more. To get in this position, I have bought over 20 new cars. Okay, so maybe you think buying 20 cars from Lamborghini is hypocritical of the last two videos. The cars I bought were all cars that I actually wanted. No dangling carrots, no sweeteners, no playing the game or jumping through hoops. I bought them because I wanted them, and it eventually got me the ultimate limited edition cars. I was naturally at the top of the VIP list simply because of my long and loyal relationship. At no point did I ever have to have a car that I didn't want, and at no point did I have to buy trips or silly watches which I didn't like. I did what I wanted and bought the car I wanted and enjoyed every single one of them. Last year I purchased a Lamborghini Urus Performante, actually my third Urus
and by far the most special. It came with a big special
Special.
that cost £280,000. It's been
Special.
sitting on the channel a lot, and if you don't know which one it is, it's a big yellow thing. The trouble is, over the last year of owning this car,
Special.
as I've discussed on previous videos, it's not my preferred motor vehicle. But nor is any SUV really. I'm a hot hatch man, a chavvy, a popping and banging racing car, just like my beloved Clio. The Urus is probably the ultimate SUV in looks and comfort. She's just a big old bus. The GT3 RS is much more me. It just means Jane and Senna have to get an Uber. When I first got the Lamborghini Urus, we made a video on overs. It was a story of how you could flip these limited number cars the day you bought them for profit. Simply put, supply and demand. I could have sold it the very next day and made £70,000 tax-free overnight. Now that was last year, but even after a year of owning this car and driving 7,000 miles, it's still now worth £300,000, which is still £20,000 over the list price, which I paid for it. This is where my plan comes together.
The rest of the plan is simple.
I'm going to use the power of the overs of the Lamborghini, use the profit and invest it directly into the GT3 RS. So I will use my Lamborghini overs to cover some of the Porsche's overs. So I'm swapping brands. I'm using my position on the Lamborghini list to overcome not being on the Porsche list. We are cheating the whole system by using the very same system. But really importantly, I don't take anybody's allocation. And even better for me, paying overs is going to be back to a Porsche customer who's already had to buy a load of take-ins and could really do with my money. So next problem is finding a GT3 RS which has been flipped and selling it overs in a specialist car dealership. And I think I've got the perfect spec car in mind. So last video, this is the car we test drove down in Cardiff at Better Performance with Lewis. It's an amazing car. It has everything that you want it to have. Wise-Up pack, perfect colour combination, ceramic brakes. It is the absolute nuts. So we're going to give Lewis a call now and try and see if somehow we can bang out a deal.
Hi Mark, how are you?
Hi Lewis, you okay?
Really well, thank you. How have you been yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. Just ringing to see if you've had a look and what you think you can do on a deal for this car.
Yeah, okay mate. I'll be very, very honest. I've had a really good think and I think what you're doing is fantastic. You'd be really, really special and I think that I'm going to really look after you with the deal. And I think that if I sell you the GT3 RS at 330,000, but I would need your Urus because I'd like an opportunity going forward. So I would do good money for it. I would like to offer you 300,000 for it, so I could give you a 30,000 cost per change if that would suit you, Mark.
Wow, okay. Wow, that is a better deal than I ever expected. This must be the cheapest ever GT3 RS. This way we need no previous buying history. This way we need no extreme overs. We are not being made to sign a contract that I cannot sell it. And Lewis is definitely not going to blacklist me. Wow. Okay. Well, that's changed something. That's 40 grand less. He's just knocked that off that car. That's amazing. So, fair play to him. There is only one problem standing in the way of me owning a GT3 RS. Not Porsche anymore.
Lamborghini. Go back to your tractors, farmer.
Lamborghini do a lot of background checks to make sure that the buyers of these very special cars don't flip them. They would prefer the cars to go to customers who will enjoy the car for years to come. Ideally, they would also prefer to buy the car back from you, so it can stop in the local area. When I purchased the Urus, I wasn't made to sign a contract or anything like that, but I always offer to give the car back to Lamborghini first. It's fair as a business and I don't want to tarnish a great relationship. We need to stop, friends, as there's a new 1,000 horsepower Lamborghini coming to this channel very soon. The deal...
So basically now the problem is not more at the Germans, even though it's the same problem. Now it's at Italians, the same problem. They were allies in the World War II. They were allies. So if you don't pay to Germans, you pay to Italians. Let's see your attitude when you pay. And because we saw how you look at things, how generous you are, and how you make business on the back door, you know. Let's see the end result, and how did you manage to buy a German masterpiece with the agreement, yes, yes, yes sir, from Italians.
Which Lewis is offering us is amazing, but the only way I could possibly get more money is by exporting it. That's because these special cars are worth more money in luxury countries like Dubai, as there is more people with money than there are cars.
Now, if I exported the Urus, there would be a big problem. There is a limited number of Lamborghinis allocated to the UK, and the sales and servicing network needs these cars to stop here. For example, this UK car is sold to me, then I sell it back to the dealer, then they sell it to another customer. Each year it's serviced, repaired, warranted, upgraded.
So as long as the car stops in the UK, the money stays in the Lamborghini circle. But what happens if the car gets exported?
The UK dealer network loses it all.
So that is why Lamborghini want the car back first, just to make sure it doesn't get shipped out of the UK. And this is where the problem lies.
The only way we can make this deal work is if Lewis can have my Urus. He wants this amazing car in his showroom and is willing to do us a great deal. But if Lamborghini wants to buy my Urus back, it means that our plan has failed, and like I said, I have to give them first refusal. So the only thing left to do is to call Lamborghini and ask whether they want my Urus back. If they do, there is no chance of me buying a GT3 RS without losing tens of thousands of pounds. If they say they don't want it, it looks like we're getting a GT3 RS.
So everything sits on this. We're all invested in this crazy story. If this call comes back negative and they want my Urus, then I'm going to do the right thing and let them have it. And that means no more options.
I hope they don't want the car, alright? Do that. You do that.
Fingers crossed.
Even the kid. Oh my god.
Hi Mark, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
This is it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what other people.
It doesn't matter what other. Maybe it matter. Let finger cross.
Think. It doesn't matter what the market thinks.
Oh yeah, but let finger cross.
Good.
Hi Mark, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. How are you? I've got a deal on the table with a Porsche 911 GT3 RS, but they want the Urus as part exchange. And obviously I wanted to give it first refusal to you, but I just wondered if there's anything we can do because they have to have this car for the deal to go through.
Right, okay. How long have you had it now?
It's actually
1 year.
over a year.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, we really would love to have the car back, but I've seen the videos and I know how much you really want this car. So, under these circumstances, I'll be okay with you selling it elsewhere.
You're a legend, thank you.
All the best.
Take care. Bye 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 bye. Bye.
Like throwing the crumbs to the pigeons. Lamborghini Italians said to the British colonialists, yes, you can. We allow you to have the German best ever car and most perfect with 5,000 setting for suspension, special car. Yes, you can. Italians with Germans.
Mummy's getting a G-Wagon!
No, it's a GT3 What an absolute result. Right, let's get to Wales. I cannot believe we're actually going to get a car after all we've been through, which has been a month of ups and downs, doors closing, doors opening, and thanks to you guys, we're actually going to get a car today. You've given us so much contacts and so many helps to get us through and over this hurdle. Hi guys, here we are. Better performance in Cardiff.
You again. How are you doing, Ma?
Is she ready?
Lovely to see you again, mate. She's all ready for you. Come on in.
Look at this, nice, isn't it?
Amazing. I love it. Look at the spec.
2 keys.
Thank you, sir. Do you want me to show you the new one?
Oh, I'm excited today.
Yeah. Let's go. Come on, lads.
That's mad, isn't it?
Amazing.
You can tell it's 911, can't you? Look at his nostrils. So this is it. This has been some journey.
Let's get it off. Are you ready?
Yeah. 4 weeks ago, when I walked into a dealership trying to buy a car, I had no idea what I was entering into. Up until now, we have had over 2 million views, 6,000 comments, lots of people telling us their stories, which are even...
So, again, in the end, no copyrights. Please visit his channel, watch more content, make more views, and help him grow. He's an awesome man, incredible rich, and that GT3 RS is very, very nice. Hopefully, if he take out of the garage and they actually do some mileage with it, we will see more quality content in the future months, year, maybe years, if he keep that long.
And hours, and hundreds of people all over the world trying to help me get this car. Thanks to you, today is finally the day. We are getting a GT3 RS. I have never encountered such a difficult car to buy, but my God, was it worth it. This is a thing of beauty. It is literally like a spaceship, man.
Some car. I cannot wait to see him on track in this.
It's unbelievable. It is just a crazy, crazy car, isn't it? Oh, it's just posh, isn't it?
Try to do our best. Yeah. And there's the 2 keys. So you've got 2 keys for the car as well.
Thank you so much for the deal.
No problem at all. What a pleasure.
Testing it? Let's go. Bye, Eurus. Right, top speed run. Go. Tunnel. I absolutely love it. Love it. Expect some videos on this very, very soon.
Exactly.
Just thank you for everyone who's invested in this series. It's been amazing. A roller coaster, ups and downs. But finally, we have the car. See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Today.
So, more content, as Mark McCann said, more content in the next months with the new car. Finally, they have that car, and it is the best car, the best German. And as you can observe, the Italians are not that bad, because they allowed Mark to buy the German car, and the German car are not that bad, I think. No, we remain that they are bad, because if you couldn't escape this loop and to buy this car, it is very tough. Germans are bad, Italians are good. But after they bought and sold all these Italians car for 20 years, this British man, me personally saying awesome special cars, Italian and German cars, or piece of crap, junk cars, special cars. But after he sold multiple years their stuff, their Italian German stuff, finally he was allowed to go home with this impressive, you know, incredible car, best car in the perfect conditions, on YouTube, in the paper to sign. Yeah, special, the best car. When something breaks, even if it's not that special, even if it's just a BMW or a Mercedes, Audi, not good. Oh, Germans, no. Oh, expensive, expensive. And if it was possible to don't break, Germans, you screwed me. And if possible for me to don't repair the car, and to sell to another dreaming idealist who buy that BMW broken and doesn't repair because also expensive, but no good, and yet I bought it because good. What can we say about not myself, but not my friend who have BMW and repair it, but about those who, yeah, I bought Porsche GT3 RS, I bought Lamborghini, but it broke and I don't have money to repair it. Let me sell to another one, and with a little bit of profit, just a little bit. Yeah, that's the end of the discussion. One more little thing, 10 15 minutes maximum, because now having all this content here in our minds, in our freshly updated analysis mechanism, we can see clearly the position of Japan, the position of West Germany in that period, here in Plaza Accord. Also we can see the Allies, what is their role. You saw economic chart. You saw how Japan crumpled after this Plaza Accord and never recovered. So yeah, the Allies made only good. But let's present now a bit of everything, starting with the economical progress of the big countries, excluding of course Russians, because they doesn't present interest. So starting with I forgot starting with cars, because we just talk about cars, even though it works the other way around, no problem. We asked the artificial intelligence about Japanese car market growth and rare car evolution from 1990 to 2020. So in 1990, economic bubble period, strong sales of new cars, just after Plaza Accord. I don't like this chart. Where is that? So 1919, around here, of course, economic bubble period, strong sales of new cars. Nissan GTR 32, Toyota Supra A80. Entry of legendary cars into the market, prices were relatively low for new models. 95, when I was born. Market stagnation after the economic bubble burst. Mazda RX-7 FD. Cars like Supra and RX-7 gain cult status, but are not yet collectible. This word here, collectible, iconic, special, you will you will understand why I will put also in a with the color, you know, with 2000s slow recovery in the Japanese economy. Never recovered Japanese economy. Subaru Impreza WRX, Nissan Skyline GTR R34, increasing popularity of performance car but not yet mainstream for collectors. So as I said, collectors, you can't see that well, let me zoom a bit. So collectors, collectible, rare, special, and whatever. 05 domestic sales slow due to aging population. So in 2005, population who made possible this growth economy of Japan now age, and everything slows down. Toyota GT86 initially concept, Nissan 350Z, collectors again, collectors, collectible. Collectors start showing interest in models like R34 GTR in 05. 10, I don't think it's that important. Hybrid and eco car market grow, new car sales decline. Nissan GTR 35, Toyota 86, Subaru BRZ. Prices for the Skyline GTR R34 and Supra A80 begin to rise as they become iconic collector cars. So around 2010, of course after 05, when aging population of Japan and domestic sales slowed down, everything start to become iconic and collectible. 15, market stagnates, a shift to EV and hybrid cars. We don't need to read more, no major new performance model, but hybrids grow. JDM cars from 90s like GTR 34 Supra see rapid value appreciation. So from 05 towards present, what's here is very, very, very important. Not if you want to buy a car, if you want to sell a car like these dudes, but only to understand the car and the market. Continued decline in domestic car sales, shift to EV. Toyota Supra A90 appear, Nissan GTR 34 continues. Collectible Japanese car from 90s and early 2000s GTR Supra now fetch high prices at auctions. I would say incredible prices at auctions, because in